Hi, Bob and Ben again in South by Southwest. We're a bit jet lagged. I got there, didn't I? We're a bit jet lagged. It's day 2. We've had a pretty good time, but we've been seeing lots of different things today. Bob, you've done a remarkable 6 sessions.
Yes, yeah, probably 4 really good ones and 2 ones that kind of missed the mark. You get a little bit of that with South by Southwest, but you take the good with the bad, because today we saw some really phenomenal stuff actually.
Yeah, I saw a mixed bag of stuff. I started out with going to see a presentation by a guy who came up with a parody of the Farmville quite a few years back. It was called Farm Villains. So basically it was the subversive opposite of what you would actually do with Farmville, and it was incredibly successful, and he sold it off. But what he was talking about is the fact that the internet and this internet culture, if there's a way that people can subvert something, they will. Some great examples were the fact that 7-Eleven did a promotion where they were trying to get people to vote for the rap artist Pitbull to come to, the 7-Eleven of their choice and play a gig. And that got on Reddit, and so all the good people of Reddit got together and essentially got Pitbull sent to the most isolated 7-Eleven in Alaska, in the Alaskan wilderness. And other fantastic things, the fact that, people raised $17,000 on Kickstarter for a guy to make a potato salad.
Oh, wow. That's quite funny. Like that came out quite recently with the Coke campaign as well. So Coke did the gifts with words on it, and basically 4chan and Reddit kind of took over that. So I think it's a theme I'm seeing coming out as well, which is brands. You have to be careful how much freedom you give. It's great to involve people, but it can be hijacked with mischief.
And it's that delicate balance. There are these invisible lines where you can play, and you've got to kind of know where you're being authentic and when you're kind of riding on the coattails of something else. It's a very interesting thing.
Yeah, I think like for me, I went a little bit different today from yesterday. I saw a really great session on cyberbullying. So I went to a session which told the story of Lizzie Velasquez. And Lizzie was an amazing woman. She was born without the ability to grow body mass. And she came across a video on YouTube that someone had uploaded without her knowledge, calling her the ugliest woman in the world, and it had 4 million views. And as a result of that, she started a campaign, and she'd been bullied her entire life. She started a campaign around what bullying is, and she's actually working with the Ad Council of America right now to do a campaign called I Am Witness. And what it's trying to do is encourage teens to fight bullying in their own environment. The key one for me, though, that came out from that is that Lizzie spoke about how her followers are extremely positive, but every now and again on Instagram and on YouTube, a commenter will come on and say, "Hey Lizzie, you're really ugly. Don't listen to this person." Then her followers turn around and then attack that person who's being the bully, and then she has to then encourage her followers to not become the bully themselves. And it's more this idea that people want to be right and don't want to necessarily empathize, and she comes on and says that person that said that might actually just be looking for attention or have their own issues themselves. So it's quite interesting, and we're being next to the Moonbox right now, so that's great. I think I used a term from the 1980s there. That was great. So that was my first session. What did you say next?
Oh, what I said next? Well, I went down to South by Southwest Create, which is down in the Palmer Centre. So that's essentially a makerspace. So as you can imagine, it's people with their 3D printers and all those kind of usual sort of suspects that you do see at those kind of things. But there were some really other things that I was really surprised about. There was the Austin Lego Builders kind of club. There was musicians creating kind of amazing sort of drum machines with various kind of like humanistic sort of characteristics. One of my favourite things I saw though was a wonderful kind of product that 2 women have released, which is a teddy bear. These 2 teddy bears that are basically sort of connected, and they've got haptics in them, so they actually hug. So when you hug one, the other one hugs. So if you've got your cousin living far away and you're over here, you can give them 2 different bears, and they can have this sort of wonderful kind of interaction. But one of those lovely things we've been discussing before, where the technology is invisible.
Yeah.
And if you're a little kid, I think you just think that's kind of magic. And I thought that was kind of very special.
Well, we both got kids, and they're both back in Australia right now, so
absolutely.
I can see how they can come into use.
Yeah, absolutely.
The next session that I saw, which was really fascinating, was I went to South by Southwest Accelerator, and what that is, it's a series of startup pitches. So they give them 2 minutes to pitch, and then a panel of judges ask 10 minutes of questions. And there was one there that kind of blew my mind. All of them were around the area of medical science, and so med tech. And there was the first presenter came up, and he's developed a system to be able to detect lung cancer through breath. All right, so normally it's a CT scan that you use to detect lung cancer. He's actually been able to develop like a breathalyzer for cancer. And I thought just some of the things that you see pop up here just make you think of what you can do or what technology is actually doing to make processes easier, medicine more available to the world, because CT scanners are very, very expensive, and a kit like this going to an area of the world that doesn't have that level of science or technology can do great things for the world. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And it goes to say, because there's so many different niches here. Like I was saying, there's a medical technology kind of niche kind of display, which some of you saw here today. There's South by Southwest Good, which is I think starting on Monday, which is another whole kind of area. Because I guess that's another theme that we've sort of been seeing that that's been popping up, or it's a topic that's really big this year.
Yeah, but you saw some weird 3D printing stuff as well.
I did. I saw. I went to a talk on fashion and technology, so that was really fascinating. It was by a woman who's actually running, again, it's like a makerspace in New York, and she's created this amazing sort of range of jewelry, which was based on these ultra high resolution microscopic scans of butterfly wings, and taking those patterns out of nature and putting those patterns into jewelry and 3D printing the jewelry. And it was really interesting because the pieces were really amazing to sort of see, and I really finished. She talked about her process and how unbelievably difficult it is right at the moment, because the materials in 3D printing, they're not quite there yet, but they're getting closer and closer to being something that you should be able to, hypothetically, she says, in a few years' time, order a dress you're gonna wear to a wedding and have that thing printed overnight, because they are working on kind of fibres that are a little bit more comfortable, those kind of things, which is kind of interesting. And
be able to accessorize better. That's great.
Absolutely. Yeah.
For me, the breakout session that I saw today, though, was DARPA. If you're not familiar with DARPA, it's the research initiative launched by the Department of Defense in the US, and they basically came and spoke to South by Southwest about the area that they're doing in bioscience. And there were two researchers there that spoke, one in the area of neuro-linguistics and the other one in the area of genetics. And some of the things they were talking about just completely blew my mind. The person who led it off was, just get his name right, Justin Sanchez, who's the Associate Director for DARPA, and he's been working on helping paraplegics and quadriplegics use their mind to control mechanical limbs, and showed some amazing videos of being able to actually move an arm and signal it just with the power of the person's mind, or control a vehicle just with, so flight simulators just with the mind. And then what was really crazy was they're doing it through implants in the brain, and he showed a video of the last one, which was extremely touching, was a quadriplegic not only could control the arm, but could then actually get haptic feedback back from it, and he could feel blindfolded which finger was being touched just through a robot, which was amazing. The other, the geneticist who was Daniel Wattendorf, who was amazing as well, spoke a lot about the Department of Defense coming up against infectious diseases, and speaking about how they're trying to develop vaccines faster than the 10-year process that currently exists, or even the 9-month process they've gone down to, but how that is actually a threat to national security. And so DARPA is working on ways to make vaccines faster. So
that's amazing.
Just some crazy stuff that you see at South by Southwest.
Yeah.
That was one of them.
As you can see, so we've been all of us at Clemenger have been running around today, and I think Bob, I think you won today.
Well, you saw some pretty more weird stuff too.
No, but we're seeing, as I said, we're here at South by Southwest, seeing some amazing things. We'll be combining all this back together in a presentation when we get back for you to enjoy. But yeah, we're only in day 2, and already, we're
3 more days to go.
Absolutely.
So, thanks very much. Cheers.
See you soon.